You've been staying where you were tolerated, not where you were celebrated this entire time. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You didn't lose your soulmate. You let go of your settlement. Ooh. And I know it sounds tough. I know it's hard to hear, but you needed to hear this. You didn't lose your soulmate. You let go of your settlement. Your heart is trying to convince you that this is your soulmate, but ask yourself, would your soulmate really treat you the way that they treated you? Would they discard you the way that they discarded you? Would they walk away from something that you were so willing to fight for? It might have felt like it was fate, right? Your emotions and everything was there, but everything that required for a relationship to last, that's what it was lacking. That's the difference. And the truth is, you deserve more than what you were willing to tolerate. You absolutely deserve so much more than what you were willing to tolerate. And today, let's talk about the gap between what you settled for versus what you were truly worthy of. Ooh. And it ties into this. I've had this on my desk for quite some time now, but that's the difference between your desires versus your needs. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. We often supersede. We allow our desires to supersede our needs. We often allow what we want to be more important than what we need. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And we're going to talk about the difference between the two. Remember that you don't have to change the world. Just don't leave it the same. So live fully, love deeply, and laugh hard. First of all, why do we settle? Why do we settle? You settled. Come on, let's be honest. And I'm sure if someone had this conversation with me while I was still attached to this person, I would be so quick to try to defend them, right? But they're not even here to defend you. They're not here to be a part of your life. Why are you going to be so afraid of abandoning someone who already left? That's the truth. That's the fact of the matter. So you know why we settle? First of all, fear of being alone. Maybe you aren't used to being alone. Maybe you've never experienced being alone. Maybe you got so attached that the thought of being by yourself actually seems uncomfortable. Feels like a punishment, in fact. So that's why you often hold on. You know why we settle? Because sometimes we believe that we are either too much or not enough. So we end up saying, you know what? This person's willing to tolerate me. Maybe they're inconsistent. Maybe they give me pain. Maybe they don't give me what I need, but they still kind of choose me from time to time. And if we're too much or not enough, at least they kind of are accepting us here and there. But you know what settling ends up costing us? Every time you lower your standards, you chip away at your own self-worth. Every single time you lower your standards, you chip away at your self-worth. And I've said this before, and I'll say this here. How do you expect someone to know your true value if they continue to have access to you on a discount? I know you hear me, but I pray you're listening. Because look at it from this perspective. Let's say you're Netflix, right? And the person that walked away from you, discarded you, whatever you want to call it, that person decided to cancel their Netflix subscription. Or maybe they didn't even cancel. They just stopped paying. That's probably more realistic, right? They stopped showing up. They stopped putting in effort. It became painful. And maybe they just blocked you or just pulled the plug and pulled the rug from underneath you. So maybe they just stopped paying. And maybe you have this grace period where they still get the benefits for a couple of days. But this is where you start devaluing yourself. You start saying, okay, you know what? Since you stopped paying, we're going to kind of cancel your membership, but not all of it. You can watch some of your favorite shows, but you don't get access to everything else. Why in the world would the person ever want to reactivate their Netflix subscription if they still get the benefits of part of it? They don't have to invest, but they still get to watch some of their shows. And the best way I can describe it and put it into a relationship dynamic is they stop showing up, they become inconsistent, they start causing you pain, they start taking away the security you need in the relationship, but you still show up, you still pick up the calls, you still provide support, you still treat them as if they're your responsibility. But you aren't getting that in return. There's the lack of investment, lack of security, lack of consistency. So you start chipping away at your worth. Now they have no desire or incentive to invest in you because they're still getting the perks of you at a discounted price because it requires less investment on their end, but they still get some level of benefit. So you either need to choose, they either need to choose all of you or lose all of you. And you're so afraid of losing them that you're willing to lose yourself. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is so real. Somebody needs to hear this. I wish I heard this a year ago, but would I even listen if I heard it a year ago? Maybe. I don't know. But we're here now. And you know why you might not be changing or following suit with what you know you need to do? This is the pattern I see with all the clients that I've worked with. All the people that either didn't join the healing community, didn't do the one-on-one coaching, or is thinking about it but not quite there. And the ones that end up being in that space and then months later they reach back out to me and they end up doing the one-on-one or joining the community. The simple difference, the pattern that I see is what they were experiencing wasn't bad enough. The pain that they were experiencing wasn't painful enough. And that's why they didn't take the action that they needed to take all along. Excuse me. That's true. If you're here right now, you're like, I kind of want to check out the healing community or I kind of want to do the one-on-one coaching, but I kind of, nah. You don't take the action behind it. You know why? It's because what you're experiencing right now isn't bad enough. And that's true because a person will only change when their current experience or circumstance is a lot more painful than their fear or perceived fear of change. And I've seen this countless times, and I'll speak for myself. The only time I've done radical change, woken my butt up, started, going to therapy or seeking a coach or taking those measures that I needed to take is because what I was experiencing was so unbearable. I'm like, I got to move. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm just going to go. Because where I'm at right now is so uncomfortable. It's so hot. It's so unbearable. It's killing me. I got to go. And that might be where you're at right now. If you don't change, that's okay. I'm not here to beat you up, but I'm letting you know it just might not be bad enough. It might be bad, but not enough to provoke change or action. And if it gets worse, then maybe you'll move and change. And that's the truth. That's just common, human law, so to speak. People will only change one of three circumstances. The third one is the most common. When they get the means to, so they all the resources to, and they're like, oh, I got all this money or resources. All right, I'm just going to do it. Or they come across new information or something shiny and new and bright, and it sparks this intriguement, and they're like, oh, this is so cool. Oh my gosh, I got to do it. Or lastly, they experience so much pain and suffering that they're like, all right, we got to change. We got to go. The third one tends to be the most common one. So here's the shift that it probably is occurring now if you've been following since the beginning. No contact isn't just about detoxing from them. It's about detoxing from the version of you that believed you didn't deserve any better than what they were willing to give. And here is a cognitive behavior therapy perspective. Your thought process was, that's all I ever get, so I better just take it. That's what you thought. This is all I'm going to get from them, then I might as well just take it. You reframe saying, if I survived this, I can hold out for something healthier, safer, and more consistent. Yep. That's going from, that's all they're able to give, so I might as well take it, versus, if I can survive and handle this, I made it this far, I can hold out, I can stand firm on my boundaries for something healthier, safer, and more consistent. Whether it's from them, if they choose to show up, or someone that's healthier that comes along that shows me a love that I didn't even think was possible. Because God is going to give you someone that loves you so much that you forget what love never was. Because love was never unhealthy. Love was never lacking security. Love was never inconsistent. And this person is going to come into your life and revitalize what you thought love once was. Now, Exodus 14 verse 14 literally reminds you, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. God doesn't call you to beg for love. He calls you to wait for what aligns with what he has promised. Oh my gosh. I felt that came from, I know somebody needs to hear this. Now here's a practical step for you to follow. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. I want you to write down 2 columns. One column is what you settled for, be radically honest. And the other column is what you deserve. What you settled for was maybe lack of communication, inconsistency, disrespect. You settled for that. Now, what you deserve is consistency, emotional security, safety, and love rooted in respect. Look at the difference between the two. And that's the proof that you weren't losing love. You were losing a compromise when you lost them. Journal prompt for today. What is one standard you refuse to enforce before that you are now willing to commit and protect in your future relationship? Again, if you're writing down from the first person, the question is for journal prompt is, what is one standard I refused to enforce before that I am now committed to protecting in my future relationships? Ask yourself, what's a standard that you folded under? You folded like a lawn chair. You weren't getting what you needed, but you ended up tolerating it. What's a standard that you refused to enforce because you were scared of losing them, that you are now willing to commit to and protect with your life for your future relationships? You didn't lose up. You didn't lose out. You leveled up. You did not lose out on them. You leveled up from what you know you needed. Settling for anything keeps you small, but healing is teaching you how to stand tall. Don't ever confuse the bare minimum with love again. Don't you ever do that, because you deserve more than that. You are worthy of more, and it starts with what you choose to no longer tolerate and what you choose to give yourself first. If you want to keep rebuilding those standards, I strongly recommend joining Pieces to Peace, the healing community. Link is in the description, also in the comment section. 10 out of 10, I highly recommend. There's a free app for you to download and be part of it. First 7 days are completely free in the community, and you get access to everything. Highly recommend it. The 7-day emotional reset course is in that community, free as part of your free 7-day trial. So I highly recommend that, and you get access to me. Anyways, again, thank you so much for this. Until tomorrow, again, remember this. You don't have to change the world. Just don't leave it the same. So live fully, love deeply, laugh hard, and help someone. And if you can't help them, at the very least, don't hurt them, and start with yourself. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace from Dees.